Hey everybody, happy holidays. It is December. I'm Camille Isaac. I'm host of the Speaker Podcast, the podcast where innovators and critics connect. We are so excited, y'all. We've had a phenomenal year, and I'm working to wrap up the 2024 season of the Speaker Podcast. So, what I need you to do right now is I need you to hit that notification bell and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook. We're at the Speaker Podcast. I'm also on TikTok across all streaming services such as iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Pandora. In addition, I would love to hear from you. You can send me an email at thespeakerpodcast@gmail.com. And y'all, guess what? I have released some new digital stock elements that are available right now on my website. You can go and grab them on CamilleEssick.com. Get that merchandise today. I have ebooks available. If you happen to miss the Black Friday sale, if you happen to miss Cyber Mondays, no worries. You can still go right now to my website and get those items. Y'all, we hit Heart and Soul 2024 back in October, November. We had some amazing conversations. We wrapped up November with the Marshalls. If you happen to miss my conversation with Kedrick and Charity Marshall, you can go right now. Well, not right now because we're live, but later on, you can go and check out that episode there. So much has happened this year, and I'm just really excited just to have you all back. Without further ado, I don't know if you've heard, but tonight, normally I do not do a live on Wednesday, but I really wanted to connect with this guest. I think you all are going to really love her. She'll be here in just a moment. But then tomorrow night, we're going to do part 2 of my conversation with Noah Love. It's going to be a really, really good conversation, and I hope that you all tune in and catch that. I don't know about you, but I'm so excited that December is here. It's been a long year. A lot has happened, but you know what? We got here. We made it. We're not all the way here at the very end, but we're almost there. But more importantly, I want to say thank you so much to everyone that's been supporting the podcast throughout this year. It's been a phenomenal time. Lots of lessons, things that I'm continually learning in this podcasting journey. And I just want to say that I definitely appreciate each and every one of you just supporting me in this podcast journey. And y'all, Floresca, she's coming on in just a moment. But I do want to say that you all have just been great just in supporting the Speaker Podcast. I do have my Patreon set up. I did that a few days ago. I am going to announce it going into the coming year just because there will be content there for you all. And I'm looking forward to that. My guest is here. Floresca is coming on screen as well. I think she's having a little technical difficulty in working out those kinks. But I do want you all to know that my Patreon is set up. I am going to announce that very shortly in the next probably towards the end of the year, just because I really want to have it set up that way I have content for you all once I get everything going. I just don't want you to come on my page and there's nothing there. So I am working behind the scenes to get that built properly outfitted for you all. So you all will be welcomed properly and can go right into that information and that content. If you didn't know, I did oh gosh, my e-course. I did release my e-course. I guess it was around the end of the summer, around August, around September. The master plan that is out and available. And I think I may do an end of the year sale just to close things out. We'll see, but that is something I'm considering. If you think or you would like to participate in the end of the year sale, let me know. Drop it in the comments below. And based on that, we may not. It depends on what you all ask for. So that is definitely coming. I'm trying to think. There's been so much happening behind the scenes. Let's see. The e-course is out. I released a new ebook towards the end of the year. It's called Women Empowered Unleashed. It's out. It's available right now on my website at CamilleEssick.com. If you are enjoying, I hope you're enjoying the Speaker Podcast. You can go to my link in the bio. Donate. It's called Buy Me a Coffee. Go there and make a donation because we are looking to outfit and do more things with the Speaker Podcast. And that would be great if we could do that with your support. That would be phenomenal. Just some update. The Speaker Podcast does stream across various platforms. We are constantly growing. Right now, we're streaming in 49 countries and 954 cities. So we are growing, and I'm so excited about that. Yes, so let's see. Floresca. Yes, we'll need her on screen right now. We're waiting for her to come on. So I think she's been having technical difficulties, but we know how to fill the gaps, right? So hopefully are you good to go?
I'm good to go. Can you see me?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
we are. So
Okay.
I was stretching it. I was like, where's
I
she
know.
at?
I was like, oh my God, what am I doing?
I don't know. But
Okay.
you're here. So we're ready to kick off this conversation. I'm super
Absolutely.
excited to have you here. I'm not good. They're like, girls, Camille is really talking.
Yeah. No, I'm here.
But
I'm here.
we're gonna make it work, so it's all good. So I'm excited to have you here.
Thank you.
For those that are not familiar with who you are, just let the listeners and viewers know a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So my name is Floresca Isme. I am based here in New York City. I own a handbag line and candle brand. It's all about living up to the brand. It's called Etana New York, and it's all about living up to the highest expectation of yourself outside of societal norms. Um, and we're all about like encouraging. I don't know if you could probably can't really see my sweatshirt, but like one of our affirmations, I make affirmation candles, and we have one of the affirmations here. It's called Manifest, and that's just what I'm about. I'm a mom. I have 3 kids. I'm a wife. And my house is very busy all the time. So
Awesome. So what has been your greatest inspiration as far as your journey through life and to get you to where you are right now? Like what is out of the things, what is the one thing that you feel like inspires you more than anything?
um outside of my walk, my spiritual walk with God, I would say my family. Like I'm one of 4 girls. Yep. All sisters. And my like between my parents and them meeting my husband and stuff, like we are obsessed with each other. Like quite literally, like I talk to my sisters all day long, but they are the biggest reason why I do what I do. Aside from like my kids and stuff like that, but like my family, they we don't come from money, so in our upbringing, my parents always told us like, you guys at the end of the day only have each other. That's it. Like it's just you guys. So you guys have to stick together. You guys can't be fighting and all this extra stuff. And in knowing that and that being our core, um everything that I push for and strive for is to like be great for
That's
that.
awesome. Yeah.
So
So even in that, like how have you found community and just the impact and importance of having that solid community around you, how much that really matters? Because, in our life, it's so busy, so much is going on, so much is happening. And we see a lot of people, especially within our demographic, I call it clout chasing or just being opportunistic as far as wanted to connect with people because it helps them climb up, but not really wanting to actually get to know the person and be genuine and foster real connection. That's something that's important to me. I'm big on fostering connection offline. I think that's more important than just knowing someone through via social media. So for you, how much has that been for you as far as forming those solid community circles?
it's been a game changer, in my opinion. I think that social media is a tool, but it's not a real place.
Because people are
And
like so caught up in that. I think people forget that
yeah,
it's not
yeah, yeah,
real.
absolutely. It is not a real place, and you can get so wrapped up in like social media and what it looks like, where it alters reality for you. And I think that in building community and in making create like how do I say it, like like prime example, like our connection that we have, right? Like getting to know each other past social media, and like you don't, whatever I post, like I can post right now that I had like this amazing day. I went to the park with my kids, like I did all this extra stuff. And then outside of all of that, my day could have been horrible. But everybody online doesn't know that. So when you're building community, I feel like it's really better to be honest and genuine. And because that's at the core of it, that's how you build support, by people
Absolutely.
knowing the truth.
Yeah, I think one of the most powerful things I'm getting better at it just because naturally I'm introverted. People are like, "Really?" I'm like, "I am really." And to be in a space where you're not airing out your laundry, but
Right.
being transparent enough to let people know, "Hey, I'm a real person and
Right.
I have my days just like everyone else." And I think that's where the connection couples together with other people when they see we see a lot of people that are superficial, very materialistic,
Yeah,
and to have those genuine connections, I think through being authentic is what really matters.
absolutely. 100%.
Yes.
Because nobody has time.
No. So in that just in the space of Floresca, as far as finding yourself and not conforming to those social media narratives, like how have you done it? How do you continue to do that? Just, gorgeous, ripping the runway, doing all this
Oh,
phenomenal
girl.
stuff. Like, how do you still remain grounded and not conform to the tropes of social media?
It is a job. I would definitely say it's a job. Not staying grounded. Staying grounded for me is not a job, but the constant clash with having to show up, right? Because as a model, you show up and you're like this perfect person.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're dealing with all these other things behind the scenes, and and you have to mask it. So being grounded in yourself and knowing that no matter what is going on situationally, know who you are and staying true to yourself. And that's how I'm able to navigate social media, content creating, modeling, the industry. Like if I just have to remind myself who I am daily so that nobody else can't tell me who I am.
That's good. You mentioned modeling, and I remember during that era, I was watching Anthem, America's Next Top Model, and
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
we were all rooting for you, like, we remember all the taglines,
Yeah.
and it's, like, especially for brown girls, the Cocoa girls out there, like you and myself, and to show up in this space now where I feel like we're just being embraced. I know there was the phase, I wanna say late 90s, early 2000s, it was like My Black is Beautiful, and then it kind of faded out, but now we're back into this love the skin that you're in mode. So has that meant for you knowing that you're a face representing for the chocolate girls, showing up every day? Because for so long we were kind of pushed in the background, and then there was a phase where we were just faded out, and
Right.
it was the era of the ambiguous black era. And now I really want to say, not that she's the cause of it, but when Rihanna launched her Fenty collection and showed everyone, I think it helped usher us kind of back into the narrative of showing us in all different shades. So what has that meant for you being a brown girl in the beauty industry, being a model? Do you feel the weight? Do you feel the pressure, or do you just don't think about it? Like, what is that like?
I mean, you definitely feel the pressure. I wouldn't say that you don't feel the pressure because, um, how do I put it? When you get to the casting, right? Like you wonder, depending on what the show is, who the designer is, you wonder, like, am I going to have to be like the black girl?
Mhm.
You know, like, you know what I mean? Like the one black girl that got cast so that it's not an uproar.
Yeah,
Or, or are there going to be others, that look like you that you guys will be able to do, community and show up for this brand and stuff like that. I think that it really depends on like being a brand owner. Every single brand has their own messaging, has their own vision for what their brand looks like, and who their target is. And within season, because you also have some brands, it's like Their brand is for everyone. And then certain seasons, campaign wise, it looks different. And I think that when you're navigating the fashion space, you just got to show up as yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And if they pick you, they pick you.
Yeah.
And if they don't pick you, that doesn't make you any less. It just means that that situation just wasn't for you.
I love that. I think for me, I've been more cognizant about the importance of my space, my platform, making sure that when I'm speaking, how I'm posting, there's another brown girl out there watching me.
Yeah.
She might not ever say anything. Like there's a group of young girls at my church, and I noticed they're starting to, come on my pages more. And it just makes you think like you don't know who's watching you, the next generation.
Right.
They literally have, the phone in their hand and they're following and they're like sponges. They absorb everything. And they might not say, but believe they're taking notes. And so I think it's great that, how you show up online and showing, hey, I'm this beautiful brown girl. I have an amazing family. I do all these cool things. But at the end of the day, it's God and my family first. And I think that's great messaging. And that fact that you're so transparent and authentic about it, I think that really helps other young girls see like, you don't have to advertise yourself this way because we see things on social media that to me, it sends a message for some young girls that in order to make it, to be seen, be noticed, you have to
Right.
show up like this, but to show
No,
up, classy, sophisticated, and still be respected and be heard. I think that's important too.
absolutely, absolutely. Like my biggest um lesson learned is when it comes to, especially when it comes to the fashion industry or even content creating, because you go to the networking events and stuff like that, is being totally yourself,
Mhm.
because people will literally try to put you in a box and they will try to mold you into something that you're not, just so that you can fit. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't need to fit. You need to take up as much space as possible. Your light needs to radiate. And in order to do that, you just got to show up as yourself. And we don't all wake up looking like Beyonce every day. It took
There's
me
a
a
process. There's a process in the morning. Yeah.
So I mean, and that's what's showing up online too. Just take up as much space, be as grounded as you can possibly be, and just know who you are. Because people will literally try to tell you based off of your past or who you know, certain associations, they will try to box you in, and that's not that's not what it is.
Yeah, and I think sometimes too, not all of us, but there are some people out there, and I've been guilty of it in times past, where even I put myself in the box because I question my capability or just, I wonder if I can really do this. I'm not sure. But in this season of life, I've learned to just kick the door down and do all of the things,
Yeah,
and if it's podcasting or writing ebooks or creating stock elements, and I'm just in a space now, Floresca, where I'm just like, if I have the idea and I get that download from God,
do it.
let's do it
Do
because
it.
I just feel that you never know what that one thing that you do, how it can open the door to something totally amazing. And I don't want to get to the end of my life with a what if. Like, man, what if I had, you know,
Oh, what
not
if,
written the book?
like,
The regret. I don't
what
want to live with the regret.
like what ifs are just like, oh my god, they send you down the rabbit hole, man. And so all the wondering on like, man, what if I had did this and turned around and did this, and it's just like, no, just when it falls into your heart and God gives it to you, write it down. Like I am, my new thing for the last couple of years, really, so it's not technically new. I at the end of the year write down what I want God to do for me for the next year. And then at the end of the year, I go back to see if any of those things that I wrote down happened.
I love that.
And I started that in 2020. And when I tell you, it is such a real thing. Like that whole write the
Write
plan,
the
make,
vision, make it plain. Yes.
yeah, like it is a real thing.
I do that
So
too. Oh my gosh.
yeah, so and it's just so it's so awesome. Like I remember like when I was just engaged and we had our daughter and stuff. And I remember like 2020, that was one of the things that I wrote. I was just like, I want to be married. I want to have another baby. I want to go back to work. I want to do this. I want my brand to be recognized. I ended up on the Beyonce's Black Parade when she did her. Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, oh man. And then, and then I got pregnant. I had my son and then I got married. And it was crazy because 20, that was going into, that happened 21. I looked at everything that I wrote and I was like, wow, I wrote all these things down before they actually happened.
Yes, I call it getting the receipts on your life, and I keep it as a record because sometimes when I have those down moments, it's like sometimes you have to go back and remind yourself,
Yeah.
the things you've accomplished, the things God has done for you. And I've been doing that since 2016 or so. And just the things that I've written down that when I look back, I'm just like, "That actually happened." I mean,
Yeah.
even down to, like, I wanted my master's degree, did that. I wanted to get braces, I did that. I even described, like, where I live now, the things I wanted, and it happened. I just, like, to the T, and so after those things happened, I started creating another list, and I'm just like, "Wow," and I'm, searching around for a doctoral program. I'm like, "God, I don't have the money for this, but I'm gonna trust you for it."
Okay, because
And but
happening.
but it's just like we want God to do things, but you have to give him something to work with.
Absolutely. Like
I mean, he can do a blank canvas, but he prefer if you said it, he wants
absolutely,
the
absolutely.
participation.
I mean, it's just you gotta get in position when you want something. You just gotta get in position for it. Like
Yeah.
I learned that years ago from my pastor. Like she was just like, if a quarterback wanna get the ball, he would have to be in position to get that ball. So if you want God to do something for you, you're gonna have to get in position. You're gonna also have to do the work, you know. Um, and that's something that I have been like after my last pregnancy, and I say last because I'm hoping that this is it. But when you married and that man is like, I just think that, and I'm just kind of like, no.
Let me get married and then we'll circle back so I can join in. I just when people talk about marriage, I just listen and take notes. I'm like, "Okay, that's interesting. Okay."
Like, hey, I think that we're good with the kids. I think that this is like 3 is good. This is a very nice
That's a good number, right?
number. Um, so in that, like this last pregnancy, really, 3 is a party. 3 is a party. Um, I had to really pull myself out of the mom cycle, the unicycle. Because like you wake up, you get the kids together, you do drop offs, you do all this stuff, and then you don't have time, or it feels like you don't have time to do anything for yourself.
So, are you feeling like you were kinda losing yourself a little bit in that, or
During my maternity leave, yes, because it was just crazy. Like it was just way too many things happening, way too many things um, going on, and I kind of was like not necessarily blindsided. I was a little blindsided because I tend to just push through without realizing like, hey, you need to like be aware of like actually what's happening. You're not getting anything done. So you're just kind of like going through the motions and stuff like that. So it's really something that I have um, learned to navigate the busyness of it. Because I love, love, love being a mom, but I also love being a business owner. I I truly, truly enjoy what I do. So it's navigating. That's all we've been doing.
so for those that are what I call mamapreneurs, what do you feel like maybe something you wish people told you in the beginning that you had to find out, and what would be your advice to mamapreneurs?
Mompreneurs, I would tell them, I know it's hard to wake up early. Wake up early. because like after you go through your day and it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and now you've gotten your kids to sleep, and it's just like, man, I don't think I have the energy to sit in front of a computer at 10 p.m. I just I can't fathom being up from 10 to 2 a.m. My mind has checked out. But if I wake up at 4:30, if I wake up at 5, and from 5 to 8, even just 3 hours, and I can knock out so much stuff because the kids are asleep until that time, for me it works. Some moms are the opposite. Some are like, no, I'm better at nighttime when everybody's, whatever. For me, I can wake up early, have me a cup of coffee or something, and get as much stuff done, and then go about my day.
So what does your self-care plan look like going through that when the kids are away or maybe your husband has the kids? Like, what do you do to recharge and just refill yourself, your spirit? Like, what does that look like for you? Because I mean, you're just busy with the brands and the kids, and
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
how do you recharge? How does Floresca recharge?
So it tends to be on like Thursdays because that's like my best, quietest day. My recharge day. I am able to drop the kids off to school, drop my youngest with the grandparents, and I get to come home. I put on worship music, and I legit just sit. I'll either do a face mask or something, and I will just reset, journal, and that is like my self-care for me. Outside of like going and get my nails done, mani pedicures or whatever. But like on like a regular Thursday, that's what I'm doing
Awesome.
for like 2 hours.
That's really good. My thing is I love, aromatherapy, and that was one of the reasons why I started my room fragrance collection, during the pandemic. I love textures. So I have, my weighted blanket, of course, Netflix or Hulu. I just finished watching Cross on Prime last weekend. It was so good.
Oh man. Oh, I'm binging it today just for a little bit. And
Girl.
I'm on like episode four.
Oh, you're just get I don't wanna spoil it for you, but when
Oh
I say it's so
no.
diabolical at the end, the mastermind behind everything, it's crazy.
Yeah, because it okay. Okay.
We'll talk about that offline.
No problem.
But
No
yeah,
problem.
that's my thing. I love a nice cup of coffee or tea. I love white noise, like, I go to sleep with the rain sounds. Just
Nice.
yeah, LED lights. Just I'm one of those people. I'm just really chill. When I'm here, my place is my sanctuary just because I'm always creating, writing, work like all day. And so when I'm unplugged, I have a timer on my phone, on my iPhone, and it
Yes.
goes on D&D the same time every evening, 8:30. And after 8:30, unless somebody is burning, I'm not
Available.
available.
Unavailable.
I'm
And that's
unavailable.
honestly like that's I haven't done the D&D thing, but I think it's because like my sisters call me at all hours. So I always try to make myself just a little, but haven't learned, which I know that there's a way to do it where like you have a D&D, but certain people can bypass the D&D.
Yes, I do have that set up for emergencies. But
Yes.
if
I
it's
think
just
that
the
I gotta
GP, the general population, no.
no,
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
that's funny.
Yeah. So, one more question as we begin to wrap up. I'm really enjoying this conversation, Floresca.
Me
What has
too.
been one of your biggest obstacles and how did you overcome it?
My biggest obstacle. Are you ready? Okay, okay, okay. So, my biggest obstacle, believe it or not, is self doubt.
I
That is,
think we're all guilty of that though.
yes, but I don't know. I'm not special. I'm just saying my self doubt will really stop me from putting anything out. Like, I have so many great things that I've been working on for my brand. And if the packaging doesn't look the way I need it to look, if I haven't mastered like a certain, like I make candles and stuff, and if the fragrance is not exactly where I need it to be, I won't put it out.
We're here. We're so here. I totally understand because in your mind you have the vision and it has to align. It has to be what you see
Right.
in your mind. I get it.
Detriment, I feel like I'm noticing that. Like, I just feel like at some point you gotta just, not saying throw anything at the wall to hope that it sticks, but
No, I
like,
call it doing it ugly.
you do have to trust yourself,
Yeah,
and you do have to, so this is me doing self-therapy talk, you know what I mean? You do have to trust yourself and just put it out. You just got to put it out, and then your people, whoever your people are gonna well receive it,
I like that.
you
I
know.
like that.
um and self-doubt is a horrible person. So
I think self-doubt is, to me, it how can I word this? It contradicts faith, right? Because faith really is the twin of confidence. And you're like, "Hey, I know I can do this. I'm gonna hop in, jump out there and do it." And so in faith is an action word. What is that? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
yeah.
And so even though you don't know how it's going to turn out, but deep down you know, I
Mhm.
know what God showed me. I know the vision he gave me and I'm going to do this. I'm going to execute it exactly the way he showed it to me, whether if it's the fragrance has to smell like this. Like who else would know that other than you because God gave that to you, right?
Right, right.
And
But
so
you
you have
just
to
have to
push
do
through
it.
that.
You just
Yeah.
do it, because you want to know something? The enemy, the enemy will literally plant these tiny seeds to get you to not do what you need to do by wasting time and self-loathing, you know,
That procrastination,
is the
ooh,
devil. Is a
is
demon
terrible.
that
It's
you
so
legit have to
terrible.
fight off like on a regular basis, because Lord knows, especially like when you have so many other things going on, it's like, yo, I need to get up and get this stuff done. Like, I just need to do it already. And for me,
Mm.
it's like once I start, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm in go mode, tunnel vision, straight. But as soon as something veers off, like the mom ADHD is like a real thing out here. Like, it's a real thing. So,
'Cause you're planning for 4 people, your husband and 3 little ones, and so, your mom, your wife, and so you're the nucleus of all those things. I can't say I understand, but I definitely do understand what you mean by that. I just think for you to do what you've done, continue to do and accomplish that and still find balance,
absolutely.
especially within our demographic, I think it's awesome, and add some kudos to you, and I hope other women that see this, are inspired by your journey, and just I would love to have you come back to continue this conversation because I really wanna, dig
Like
'cause
deep.
you're first
Yeah.
timer.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I
Absolutely.
wanna shout out Noah because,
What's up?
he connected us, and I've known Noah for a few years now, and the conversations that we've had, he's such an amazing person, and his journey is awesome, and so, I was like, I want a new face for the show, whatever, and he's like, "I know someone."
Oh yeah, he that's my brother. I love him. Noah is so awesome. If anybody
Yeah.
can, Noah can do it.
Yeah, and so and I was just like, because he knows how I am about, my space, and if he's like, "Oh, no, 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 I think you all would get along fine, and,
No,
I think you'll get on really good," and so I was like, "Okay," and so I finally reached out and asked, and I was just kinda nervous because most of my guests, I would say 98% of my guests are people I have known and know
yeah,
offline, and so when you have a new face coming in, you're just like, I don't know, let's see," but I'm like, Oh, she can stay. Like, I like her. She's cool. Yeah,
This
you can stay. You can stay. You can stay. So I would love to have you back,
let's
just to
do it.
unpack the conversation. And when I always have my newbies on, I just keep it very light, very surface, just because I like to feel people out. And
Yeah, I know. And you don't want, yeah, you don't want to scare nobody and start asking questions.
no, and I don't know, if you told you, like, we do have in-depth conversations, but it's always in a space that I believe in healthy and safe communication. That's paramount to me. And I think that's really important. But I'm just loving your vibe, your energy. And I'm like, yeah, I gotta bring her back. So for sure.
Listen, I am absolutely an open book because I feel like anybody's testimony and their story can change someone else's life, and the only way you can do that is by speaking about it.
Yeah.
You there are there's certain things that happen in anyone's life that you'd be ashamed of or whatnot, but regardless, it's part of your testimony, it's part of your story, and
Mhm.
nobody can weaponize your story unless you let them. So
Exactly.
better to own your life, own everything that you got going on, and just be like, hey, this is me, this is what I got going on.
Absolutely. So before we wrap things up, do you have anything new? You mentioned your products. Where can people connect with you online? And then also, um, candles, merchandise, where can they go to find that? Because we want people to find you.
Thank you. So, Etana, New York. It's ETANANYC.com. And you'll find the handbags there. You'll find the candles. You'll also find our diffusers, which is, I'm trying to see, like, if I go this way, up there. And our new exclusive, I'll tell you here, it's not on the site yet, but I'm dropping sunglasses for the winter into the spring.
Yes.
Super excited about. So y'all pray for me. I need to get it out before the holidays. We're just working on a few extra kinks, but that's where you can find me. You can find me on Etana, New York. You can also find me at Floresca Isme on Instagram. It's FLORESCAISME. And yeah, hit me up. I'm here.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, I've enjoyed talking to you. I just love your whole spirit. It's really sweet. You have a sweetness about you. So I cannot wait to bring you back in the 2025 season. So I'm excited about that. And I hope everyone that you got something for this conversation after we end. Hold on, Floresca. But everybody be sure to contact me. Follow me on Instagram at Kimma.Essick. All the e-products, the e-books, stock elements, um, e-course that's on my website at CamilleAsic.com. And I would love to hear from you. Send me an email at thespeakerpodcast@gmail.com. I'm working to build my YouTube channel. Slide over right now, hit that notification bell and subscribe because we're kicking out some things in 2025 and I need you to stay in the loop. So with that being said, everybody, this is Camille Asic, host of the Speaker Podcast, the podcast where innovators and critics connect. Tune in tomorrow night. Noah Love will be here as he will help me close out the 2024 season, and we're gonna have a really good conversation. So I hope to see you there. Be blessed, y'all. Good night. Peace.
Good
Bye.
night.